Welcome. This DDI CAD cast is part of our What's New series, covering administration and installation. Let's begin and talk about the administration portion of What's New in SOLIDWORKS 2013. The topics that we're going to be covering today is converting files to 2013, interoperability between SOLIDWORKS 2012 and SOLIDWORKS 13, save and restore user settings, and the SOLIDWORKS CAD Admin Dashboard, available to all SOLIDWORKS users with the maintenance contract with SOLIDWORKS. So the main question I always get asked when a new version of SOLIDWORKS comes along is, should I go ahead and upgrade my previous version files to the latest version of SOLIDWORKS? Now this is a decision that has to be made as a team amongst all of your SOLIDWORKS users, but traditionally when you convert files to the newer version of SOLIDWORKS, after the initial opening of the model and the converting to that latest revision or version of SOLIDWORKS, you get typically faster opening times. As you can see in our graphic, opening times between 2012 and 2013 have greatly improved as far as that second time the software opens. The first instance when you open this file and it actually converts the files, it's reading the old systems options and metadata that were originally created in that older version, converts it to the latest version, and once we save the file and reopen it is when we get that increase in performance and efficiency while opening the parts and assemblies. So if you decide to make the plunge and go in and convert all of your prior version SOLIDWORKS files to the latest version, you can do so with a utility called the SOLIDWORKS Tasks Scheduler. Simply open up the SOLIDWORKS Tasks Scheduler, click on Convert Files. At this point we can go ahead and add a specific file or file set or a folder that we would like to convert to. Choose the time at which we want to perform the conversion and hit Finish. To see a list of tasks that are yet to have been accomplished, go ahead and go to the filter and choose perhaps future dates, and we can see that we're on the waiting deck to convert these files at a future date. If your files are stored on a vault, choosing Convert Worker PDM files converts vault files that were created at an earlier SOLIDWORKS release to the current release. At this point we'll have to put in our credentials and log into the vault. You do have to have a PDM client version installed on the software in order to perform the conversion from the earlier major release to the latest release of SOLIDWORKS. So as we're talking about converting files to the latest version of SOLIDWORKS, I just want to remind you all that after you convert files to the latest version, you cannot open them in any older SOLIDWORKS versions. The exception of that is going to be our next topic. So this next topic is very, very exciting for us in the CAD community, is the ability to work between the previous version of SOLIDWORKS, in this case 2012, and 2013. So I just want to point out before we dive into this is that this is absolutely not reverse compatibility, unfortunately. This is something somewhere in between what we had last year and what we ideally would like to have. So ultimately this allows us to go in and it gives us a rigid body mode of a sense and allows us to work and interrogate the model, allows us to go in and view configurations, measure the model, mass properties. When it comes to assemblies, we can make these components that are created in 2013 in 2012, as well as go in and create bills of materials. We can suppress, unsuppress, and more importantly create drawings of the future versions of these models. A lot of times we have shops that get files that are from a future version, and the CAD people can't really do anything with these models. We can't even open them up. We have to go in and request a Parasolid or a dumb solid to go in and work with the model. Well, in 2013, or starting in 2013, if you have 2012 Service Pack 5, you can open parts and assemblies created with 2013. And with relation to these shops that have the previous version, if you do have that Service Pack 5, you can essentially open up a 2013 version of the file in 2012 SP5, interrogate the model, build components and attach components around that particular model, and even create drawings and put in callouts. and dimensions and make a nice technical document of that future version SOLIDWORKS file. So to kind of get an idea of what we're talking about, let me show you how you would go about inserting a 2013 file into SOLIDWORKS 2012. So after you've opened up SOLIDWORKS 2012 Service Pack 5, we're going to go straight and locate that particular model that was created in 2013. When you open that up, you're going to see that we have these little future version icons showing up in your design tree, and more predominantly, you're going to look at the graphics area, and you're going to look and you notice that we don't have any of the actual colorings, appearances that were created initially with these particular components. You get this nice gray matte color when you bring things into the previous version of SOLIDWORKS. If I go in and I expand some of these components, you'll notice we do see the ability to look at the materials, although we can't go in and manipulate or change any of the material definitions. Had we have any materials in there, you would see the materials for each component in my model. Additionally, we can go in and we can interrogate this particular model. We can go in and look for interferences in our design. And we can also look at the mass properties of our model. The last thing I want to touch on with regards to interoperability of SOLIDWORKS with 2013 files is the ability to create technical drawings using these future version models. The workflow is essentially the same. We're going to go in and generate a new drawing, and we can go in and click and drag our different model views. As well as change up display styles, add dimensions, callouts, bill of materials, etc. To illustrate bringing in a bill of materials for a future version file, same workflow applies. Go in and specify the drawing view of interest, pick your template if you had a template there, make your settings, adjust your settings, and place the bill of material in your drawing. For additional information and details on working with future version files in SOLIDWORKS, please watch the Fundamentals and Import and Export What's New webcast. The next topic I want to cover is called Save and Restore User Settings in SOLIDWORKS. Now, if you've ever wanted to transfer or copy over all of your keyboard shortcuts, file locations, and custom settings to another computer, you would typically use Copy Settings Wizard. Now within SOLIDWORKS 2013, we can do this without having to actually close SOLIDWORKS like in previous versions, but simply by just going to the Tools flyout in SOLIDWORKS, choosing Save and Restore Settings, and going through the workflow like we have in previous versions. The one detail I want to point out is you do have to close all current open models in the SOLIDWORKS session for you to use this particular ability. But the trade-off is that you don't have to go through that convoluted menu structure of Start Menu, All Programs, SOLIDWORKS, SOLIDWORKS Tools, Copy Settings Wizard. It's all embedded within SOLIDWORKS. Now this next topic for the What's New webcast came out of necessity from the CAD administrators community. Let's think of a situation for a company. The company is a startup company. A couple of years ago, they bought new machines for everybody. They were the best machines in the industry at the time. Years pass, people have SOLIDWORKS, they have all kinds of different softwares on their machines. Machines get upgraded, degraded, out of commission, people get new machines. So there's this plethora of different machines at your company. After a couple of years, it becomes harder and harder to determine what computer specs are on what machine that are running SOLIDWORKS from the SOLIDWORKS administrator standpoint. And this is very important to keep consistency in your hardware, software, templates, and workflow. So the guys at SOLIDWORKS put together the SOLIDWORKS CAD Admin Dashboard. This dashboard is a way for anyone to monitor performance, hardware status, and changes made to the SOLIDWORKS systems option settings for each individual SOLIDWORKS user at your company. Now, to use this resource, you do have to have an active SOLIDWORKS subscription contract through your local reseller. To access the SOLIDWORKS CAD Admin Dashboard, we simply go over to the Customer Portal and log in. On your Customer Portal main homepage, you'll notice under the References section a new entry called the CAD Admin Dashboard. Once inside the CAD Admin Dashboard, you'll notice we have the main dashboard, which is segregated at the top of the page, the dashboard toolbar, and the dashboard details. The main dashboard allows us to see all computers participating in the dashboard, as well as information with regards to machine details. For example, we'll notice here under the machine details column, most of these particular machines have unsupported video card drivers. Potentially a very risky situation as far as SOLIDWORKS performance. That's something we may want to take a look at. In addition, we notice here that we have low memory on this particular machine. SOLIDWORKS has a bare minimum amount of RAM that is required to run SOLIDWORKS. The CAD Admin Dashboard grabs information from your SOLIDWORKS resources utility that's installed in every SOLIDWORKS installation and reports that back to the Admin Dashboard. Also, in the Session Details column, we can see a track record of all the different types of SOLIDWORKS sessions that we're running, blue indicating successful sessions that were opened successfully and closed successfully. The orange or orange-red sessions indicate problematic sessions of SOLIDWORKS. And with an accumulation of this session data, we can determine more zoomed out or expanded problems with SOLIDWORKS installations. We can look at trends of crashing after changes in system settings, hardware settings, or software settings. Now, when you're using the SOLIDWORKS CAD Admin Dashboard, you want to look at a machine out of all the machines participating in your group and use that as a baseline of comparison amongst the other machines on your group. For example, let's take this machine with a supported video card and a pretty good RX benchmark, and let's make that the base system there. By double-clicking on that particular cell, we can confirm that we want to make this our baseline system. Now, under the Systems Options column, we can see how many options have been modified from this particular baseline system. If someone reports a strange behavior or performance problems, you can look to see which machine that is in your list, and if it greatly deviates from this baseline system with no problems, you can maybe look into Systems Options and start troubleshooting from that regard. In addition, if all machines do a RX benchmark test, which can be done with any SOLIDWORKS machine, you can compare that system performance with the problematic system performance data, and you can make some deductions off of that. Over to the left-hand side, we have a status column with some red flags. Now, these red flags can be assigned to certain callouts that you want to be brought to your attention, such as a certain amount of changes that were made to systems options, or if your performance is significantly reduced down by changing software or hardware. That can be customized using the flag options icon. In the flag options menu, I can go in and disable things that are of non-interest in my particular exploration of my machines. For example, let's go ahead and remove the graphics driver not supported option, hit submit. Now we can look at machines that have less than 70% normal sessions in this particular case. So this has been the best way so far that we can go in and compare all of our different systems in our company in one location. So let's start to look at some individual specifications or information with regards to a specific entry. If we choose this particular machine, we can see under Systems Options we can look at default templates and very specific systems options that have been reported to the CAD Admin Dashboard. In addition, we can look at machine specs. Things such as the microprocessor, how much free hard disk space we have available, the video card, and graphics drivers. A common change that people often neglect is updating their graphics card whenever they upgrade their system or service pack from one version to the other, potentially causing some performance problems in SOLIDWORKS. Next, let's look at session details. With this particular case study, we've noticed that there has been some pretty good trends as far as SOLIDWORKS usage. Within the CAD Admin Dashboard, we can track to see how many successful sessions with SOLIDWORKS this user or any user has had, and how many irregular sessions of SOLIDWORKS they've had. In addition, you can go in, and if your users have gone in and used the SOLIDWORKS benchmarking utility on their machines, if they report those scores, you can see how the company average stays between all of your machines. This way, if you have a machine that's underperforming, you can point those out and you can take a look and perhaps do some changes to get those machines up to snuff with the rest of the other machines. Or if you have a machine that's particularly fast, now you know what machine is going to be used perhaps for higher computations such as flow simulation or SOLIDWORKS simulation. Now, there may be a need to stop reporting new information from certain machines to the CAD Admin Dashboard. To do so, it's very simple to do. Let's go ahead and open SOLIDWORKS. And within the SOLIDWORKS session, go into the Systems options under the General category and uncheck the Help Make SOLIDWORKS Products Better by automatically sending your log files to DS SOLIDWORKS Corporation. Removing that checkbox will exclude this particular system from reporting its information to the CAD Admin Dashboard. The next major topic on today's CADcast involves installation. In 2013, we now have the ability to do a push install or uninstall of administrative images. After creating the image, you'll notice that we have a new Display Automatically link at the top toolbar of the Options Editor. This gives us the ability to automatically install or uninstall SOLIDWORKS or SOLIDWORKS components remotely on Windows Vista and Windows 7 clients. Now, in order for this to work, you do have to remove administrative privileges to that particular client. If they are the true admin, they will not have the you will not have the ability to push these installs or remove these installations with this new push capability. These push operations can be scheduled for any specific time. Also, you can have custom uninstalls where you can specify exactly what you want to remove. In the status column, you'll be notified if the action is pending, succeeded, or failed. Now, another requirement for this push install or uninstall to work is that the client has to have the Microsoft Task Scheduler on each machine. One last detail to include is that all of these target client machines must be members of the same Microsoft Active Directory domain. Now, if auto-deploy or push installers or uninstalls are not for you, you can still deploy manually using the regular hyperlink that is launched from the client machine to install the admin image. The main idea of this push install or uninstall is to save you some time when it comes to managing your installs, as well as provide some flexibility over what is installed on each individual client machine. And that's what's new with installs in 2013. Thank you for viewing this Digital Dimensions CADcast. Please visit us at www.ddicad.com.